Good evening. Welcome to our May 21st, 2024 City Council meeting. It is 7:04 p.m. Meeting is now in session. Tonight's blessing will be led by Chloe Soto Salas, introduced by Matthew Tu Tomez. Tribal members of the Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians Tribal Government Keech Nation, and Councilwoman Diaz will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise.
Honorable Mayor, esteemed council, our tribal youth are here to lead the acknowledgement, and we will have a short blessing at the end from our late chief.
Hello, my name is Chloe Soto, and I am the granddaughter of late Chief Ernest Salas, and I am the niece of Chairman Salas, and I will be giving you guys the land acknowledgement. My name is Chloe Soto Salas. I am the granddaughter of our chief and spiritual leader, Ernie Perez Tutima Salas. My mother, Patty Salas, is both the daughter of our spiritual leader and the sister of Chairman Salas. Through my grandfather, we trace our heritage to the village of Sabangna, or Siba, in the Whittier Narrows, hysterically known as La Misión Vieja. We have been known as the people of the Willow Houses, with Keech meaning home or house. Our lineage is deeply rooted in this land, with a legacy that traces back to Nicholas Joseph, who led the historic revolt of 1785 at Mission San Gabriel alongside the indomitable Torperina. I carry the legacy of my grandfather. Our tribe's records show a direct link not only to the native people of Los Angeles, but also to the prominent Spanish families, like the Perez Nietos of Rancho Los Nietos, and Mexican families, such as the Ontiveros and Yorbas. Additionally, our heritage intertwines with American families like Benjamin D. Wilson and George Patton, who settled in the area and became foundational figures in its history. As the original inhabitants of the Los Angeles Basin, we, the Keech people, have a history that spans for thousands of years. United as the indigenous lineal descendants of the Keech, Keeche, we are committed to eliminating the history of what we now call the Los Angeles Basin. We not only bear witness to past, but also actively engage in the ongoing process of reclaiming our narrative. Place names like Topanga, Coanga, and Cucamonga echo the story of our villages, serving as a testament to enduring presence. Today, we gather in what is currently known as the city of West Covina, a place historically acknowledged as Rancho La Puente and originally referred to as Awingna, the place of the burned bush. My family descends from this village and Siba, Savangna, which is historically recognized as La Misión Vieja. Following the mission era, this region of Puente Hills transitioned into the possession of John Rowland and William Workman, known as Rowland Ranch. The western slopes of Puente Hills hold significant importance in Keech Gabrielino oral tradition. Oral history speaks of a bear that once roamed the mountain above the marsh of Awingna. The spot where the bear lived was called Harvangna, which translates to where the bear is or was. In the spirit of unity and remembrance, I wish to play a recording for you, a blessing, once offered by Chief Ernie Salas, to honor both our ancestors and the land that has sustained generations of our people. Thank you.
Directions: the east, the south, the west, norte. The east represents the light of wisdom, illumination, freshness, peace, and understanding. From the south comes the power of life, brutality, growth, and warmth. From the west represents of maturity, autumn, rain, snow, thunder, and also death, or the quality of things coming to an end. And from the north comes the cold purifying winds, the cleansing of austerity, the strength of endurance, and the white snows and hairs of old age. Nawika, Aok, Anek, Tamik, Guata, Tayai, Hanuka. Aho.
Thank you.
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Assistant City Clerk, roll call, please.
Good evening, Mayor. Councilman Contos.
Here.
Councilwoman Diaz. Here. Councilwoman Lopez Viado.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Wu.
Here.
Mayor Calderon Tabatabai.
Present.
Thank you.
City Attorney, is there anything to be reported out of closed session?
Nothing to be reported out, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Tonight's meeting, we are going to be adjourning in memory of Deborah Deb Ikpa, born June 20th, 1962, passed on March 21st, 2024. Deb and her family lived in West Covina for 10 years. She was also owner of the Cookie Pop Shop, which she moved from San Gabriel to West Covina in 2001, where it operated for numerous years. She eventually closed the store in order to raise her sons full-time and be there for every sporting event that they were a part of. During her time in West Covina, she built many lifelong friendships. Whenever you needed something, she was the first to offer help. She leaves behind her husband, Emeka, 2 amazing sons, OC and EJ, and a world of family and friends. Her colossal presence and personality will never be forgotten. So tonight we will be adjourning in memory of Deborah Deb Ikpa. All right, we will now move on to presentations. So first off tonight, not too long ago, Councilman Contos and I, were with a lot of other community members, were able to tour and go through some of the West Covina schools. And our first stop was at a school that's very special to myself and also special to Councilwoman Lopez Viado, as our children attended Orangewood Elementary School. And so tonight I invite the principal and the students of Orangewood Elementary who are going to be providing us a presentation, I believe, on SB 1383. Yes? All right, fantastic. So why don't we come on up? Thank you.
We're getting the PowerPoint up.
Oh, fantastic. Excited.
While they're getting the PowerPoint up, I'm Janet Shirley, the very proud principal of Orangewood Elementary School. And I have some amazing students, and they'll be introducing themselves. But I also want to thank our IB coordinator, Candace Hernandez, that's here, and the 2 fabulous 5th grade teachers that are here, Shannon Vizina and Marina Vivas. They work tirelessly with the kids, but the kids created all of this. The teachers and the IB coordinator are just there to facilitate. So I'm going to have a seat.
Hi, my name is Christian, and these are my teammates, Nui, Paola, Jasmine, Adrian, Joel. We're here tonight to teach you how climate change, and more specifically, food waste, affects the health of our planet. As you may know, Orangewood is a dual-language international baccalaureate school. Our group is a mix of English-only and Spanish dual immersion students. Our dual-language students will present their information in Spanish. If you're not a Spanish speaker, a summary of what they're saying will be on the screen so you can follow along.
We interviewed Mr. Anthony Placino from Athens Services. He taught us about SB 1383, the state law that requires food waste to be separated from the trash. This law went into effect in January of 2023, but not all cities have yet to institute this policy. West Covina has not yet implemented SB 1383 as a city, which means we are not yet diverting harmful methane gases from the atmosphere. Methane gases causes the planet to heat up and are accelerating climate crisis, which can lead to more severe natural disasters and ecosystem collapse.
Entrevistamos a Sunshine Swinford, directora de Acción Climática del Cuerpo de Acción Climática de California. La primera cosa que nos pidió que aprendiéramos en nuestra entrevista fue la acción colectiva. Ella nos enseñó que es imposible lograr un cambio duradero en la lucha contra la crisis climática por cuenta propia, pero que tiene mucho más impacto cuando trabajamos juntos como comunidad. Su asociado, Felix Solobeck, compartió con nosotros que en el condado de Los Ángeles, 40% de la comida se desperdicia. Esta impactante estadística nos ayudó a inspirarnos a luchar contra el desperdicio de alimentos al crear nuestro plan de acción.
After conducting weeks of individual research, we reflected on what data was most important and used that to create an infographic. One thing I learned is that humans waste about 1.3 million tons of food, according to worldwildlife.org.
Realizamos una investigación durante 3 semanas. Leímos artículos, miramos videos y exploramos sitios web. Leí un artículo de las Naciones Unidas que el cambio climático plantea riesgo de pérdida de especies tanto en como en mar. La pérdida de estas especies puede diezmar cadenas alimentarias enteras y provocar los colapsos de los ecosistemas.
According to the California Climate Action Corps, 63 million tons of food waste ends up in landfills annually, generating potent greenhouse gases. This causes the planet to heat up too quickly and has dangerous consequences for our planet.
Leí un artículo de Natural Geográfico que explicaba que, además del despido de alimentos, los estrucos y pedos de vaca producen toneladas de metano, que calientan a nuestro planeta. Además del despido de alimentos, todos podemos combatir la crisis climática si significativamente reducimos nuestro consumo de carne roja.
Después de nuestra entrevista con Athens, nos enseñaron que la ciudad de Covina aún no ha oficialmente implementado la SB 1383. Sin embargo, dado que se trata de una iniciativa estatal, teníamos curiosidad por saber cuántos residentes lo hicieron por su cuenta. Hicimos una encuesta de nuestras clases de tercer, 4 y 5 grado en nuestra escuela.
Descubrimos que en promedio el 33% de las familias de Orangewood separan los desechos de alimento en la basura para ayudar a desviar las emisiones dañinas de metano. Creemos que este número aumentaría significativamente si más familias de Orangewood fueran conscientes de los efectos dañinos de dejar residuos de alimento en la basura, lo que nos lleva a nuestra acción.
For our action, we decided to educate Orangewood families about food waste. Since the state of West Covina has not officially begun implementing SB 1383, many families probably don't even know how harmful food waste is to our planet or how easy it is to avoid. We decided to create a simple, easy-to-follow infographic to educate Orangewood families on how they could do their part to fight the climate crisis. This type of action is a lifestyle change, and we hope that many of you will rise to the occasion and do these easy steps in your own home.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation. We hope that you feel inspired and go out to the world and combat food waste and the climate crisis.
Amazing. If I can invite Miss Shirley and the staff from Orangewood Elementary. Again, I know Councilman Contos and the rest of the council would say that here in West Covina, not only do we have wonderful schools, we have wonderful teachers, administrators, and then our students are amazing. If you ever talk to school board member Michael Flowers, you definitely will know how amazing our students are, but they truly are I know when we watched your presentations and all of the IB presentations, we're all blown away by just all the amazing work that all of you do. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, Miss Shirley, who will we be thanking in a couple more weeks to be leaving us. So I want to make sure that we, thank you. So Paola Arevalo. Yeah, Paola. Adrian Gomez. Oh, fantastic. Jasmine Lamb. Christian Vargas. Joel Reyes. Evo. And special recognition for Orangewood Elementary School. Yay. And I'd just like to let all of you know that we are working on making sure that West Covina does follow SB 1383, and we'll be having that. And I did see that survey, and in Ms. Navia's class, there were 9 people who said they separate their food waste. One of those 9, my son Anthony, because we definitely do separate our food waste. So we can all gather. All right. Next, we have our proclamation recognizing National Public Works Week. So I'd like to invite Mr. Jerry Lopez, Deputy Director of Public Works, and Mr. Mike Cressup, Public Works Superintendent, to the front. This year's theme is advancing quality of life for all. There he is. Let's give it up for Mike Cressup, everybody. All right. and Renee Chavez. All right. So again, this year's theme is advancing quality of life for all. This theme shines a spotlight on the way public works professionals advance our quality of life, whether as a first responder to an electricity outage, regular waste pickup, or myriad, and we say a myriad of other ways they silently serve their communities. Public works professionals advance the quality of life by providing an infrastructure of services in transportation, water, wastewater, and stormwater treatment, public buildings and spaces, parks and grounds, emergency management, first response, solid waste, and right-of-way management. They are what makes our communities dynamic places to live and work. Join us in celebrating the quiet work these professionals do that makes life better for all of us. And again, I think when we talk about quiet work, right? So whenever you're driving the streets and then you go on the app and you say, oh, a tree is down, or, we have these weeds and things like that. And then the next day you wake up and they're gone. Well, this is who we have to thank. So, Jerry, if you could say a few words, I'll pass them back around.
Thank you for the recognition. Public Works Week is special for us. It's the one time of the year where we are recognized. We do our best business when no one knows we exist. Yes. So that's what we strive for. No one to call us, no one to know we exist. Just do our job and get the streets looking good for you guys. So thank you.
In silence, you see.
Thank you.
Okay, now I would like to invite the members of the Filipino American Association, the East San Gabriel Valley Japanese Community Center, and the Chinese American Association of West Covina to the front as we proclaim and recognize Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. AAP Heritage Month grew out of the Asian Pacific American Heritage Week that Congress established in 1978. U.S. President Jimmy Carter signed a proclamation announcing the commemoration, and the first observance was held in 1979. The resolution set the week at 7 days beginning on May 4th. That week was chosen because it contained the anniversaries of a pair of significant events in Asian American history. The arrival of the first Japanese immigrants in the United States on May 7th, 1843, and the completion on May 10th, 1869 of the Transcontinental Railroad, which many Chinese immigrants helped build. In 1990, President George H.W. Bush expanded the observation into a full month, and in 1992, he permanently designated the month of May as an annual observance. President Barack Obama noted the contributions of Pacific Islanders and changed the name to Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month in 2009. Today, Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders, and other communities celebrate AAPI Heritage Month with festivals, educational programs, and other activities. And here in the city of West Covina, we have such a strong AAPI community that does so much work, beyond owning businesses, beyond being residents who pay taxes, the amount of volunteering, right? The amount of public service that our AAPI community does is one of the reasons why West Covina is the amazing city that we know it is. And so we proclaim Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month on today, May 21st, 2024. And so I'd like to first invite Ms. Linda Santo from the Filipino American Association to say a few words.
Hi, good evening, everybody. So my name is Linda Santos, and I'm the president for the Filipino American Association of West Covina. And of course, we are just happy that we have a lot of American Asian group or association, and we would like to be able to really be having a lot of things that we can do to contribute to the community. We are here to serve our West Covina residents, businesses, and of course, anybody else is welcome. And I am proud to be a resident of West Covina since 1983. I never moved. So thank you for this opportunity, and we will have upcoming events, and of course, we will announce it. Thank you so much.
And Mr. Tim Atawani from the East San Gabriel Valley Japanese community.
Thanks, Mayor. Appreciate it. On behalf of the East San Gabriel Japanese Community Center, I'd like to thank the city of West Covina for honoring the Asian American Month. The city has done so much for the Japanese American community. They've been totally supportive. We have a great relations with all of the city council, and I wanted to make sure that they all understand that we all feel inclusive of all the activities of the city of West Covina. So again, thank you very much, Mayor, for this.
and Miss Sophia Lee from the Chinese American Association of West Covina.
It's a very great honor to be here. This is my first time to participate this kind of this kind of meeting. I'm very honored that Chinese Community Association was one very important part of the West Covina city. I am myself actually as a business owner. I'm not living here, but I do really appreciate the business opportunities. And city mayor, Letty, Tony, and Rosario, and Alia, they always support us as a small business. And I really appreciate working with everyone here, and I'm going to support the community as well. Thank you so much for tonight.
Thank you. Oh, yes, yes. Eric, can we get one more? Bye, Orangewood. That's cool tomorrow. Yeah, that's cool tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, next we will have a presentation on licensed and unlicensed facilities in single-family zones. So I'd like to invite Joanne Burns, Deputy Community Development Director, to the front. I see she is there for our presentation.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, and also members of the public. The purpose of this presentation is to provide an informational overview of the types of facilities that operate within the single-family residential zone. These facilities include both licensed and unlicensed facilities. Adult care facilities and residential rehabilitation programs are both state licensed facilities currently requiring approval of a conditional use permit for facilities with 7 or more beds. Adult care facilities are licensed through the California Department of Social Services. These are typically seniors or adults with disabilities or mobility challenges. Licensed rehabilitation programs are licensed through California Department of Healthcare Services. So for licensed residential rehabilitation programs, they typically offer non-medical services or treatments such as counseling. These facilities with 6 or less beds are allowed by right, by state law. One of the other types of facilities are sober living facilities. A sober living facility is a home for individuals recovering from substance abuse for supportive living. Since alcoholism and drug addiction are considered a disability, they are protected under fair housing law. Residents that are operating as one household are considered a family and are allowed by right. A conditional use permit may be required if it is not being operated as a single household and 3 or more rooms are being rented out individually. As far as state licensed facilities are concerned, the city typically finds out about locations of potential state licensed facilities through the fire department or building division. The fire department is required to inspect facilities prior to state licensing, and building permits are required for the remodeling or ADA improvements for each facility if they do not currently meet ADA standards. If residents notice code violations in their neighborhood, it should be reported to code enforcement so that the city will be able to investigate the issue and properly address it. Code enforcement reports may be filed by calling the code enforcement line or completing the form on the city's website. You may do this by placing your cursor over "How do I" on the city's website on the top portion of the site and clicking "Report an Issue," or filing a report through the West Covina app. The app could be accessed by scanning the QR code on the screen. For disturbance or criminal activity, the police should be contacted. The police department has a non-emergency number that may be contacted for non-emergencies. And of course, please call 911 if there is an emergency in your neighborhood. This concludes staff presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We will now move on for our city manager's report, which will be given by our city manager, Paulina Morales.
Good evening, Mayor and fellow council members. Just wanted to go over, highlight some of the events and programs that we have in our community. So first we have the Walking Club, the Palmview Walking Club, which launched on Wednesday, May 1st, has over 48 participants. The club offers groups walks in the park trails and provides the participants the opportunity to enjoy the outdoors and improve their physical fitness. There's also Colorful Creations art class at Palmview on May 9th. They had 30 registrations, and the class is vibrant and engaging experience with participants expressing themselves through painting, drawing, and other artistic activities. We also had another reading adventure at Shadow Oak Community Center in May. And they read Kindness is My Superpower by Alicia Ortego. And so we hope more people can attend those. We had 20 attendees for that event, and we hope to build on that participation. We also had Let's Get Crafty at Shadow Oak Community Center. It was a DIY picture frame workshop. The event was free to children ages 6 to 11, and we had 11 participants in this event. We also had a dance fitness at the Palmview Center with 38 signups. It was a dance fitness class, a dynamic and uplifting experience for the participants, grooving to the music, breaking a sweat, and having a great time together. The next slide, some events at the Cortez Community Center. We celebrated Cinco de Mayo with over 180 seniors and community members attending the event. I don't know if you guys have been to the Senior Center at one of these events, but it's very lively. It's a party. And so I think there's a certain capacity, but we encourage everyone that can attend to participate. It is a lot of fun. Staff does a really good job in getting really themed on the parties and just enjoying the camaraderie with our residents. We also had Mother's Day. As you could see, our mayor's up there. He attended the event. And there's a billiards tournament. So the Senior Center is really big. There's a billiards room in the very back. And so there's a billiards tournament in May. We had 12 seniors participate with an 8-team single elimination billiards tournament. And the first and second place winners did receive gift cards. At the Cameron Community Center, we had the Rookie Division scrimmage for the West Covina Youth Basketball. We also had the C Division Conditioning Day. Staying active is of high importance for West Covina Youth Basketball. May 13th was C Division's first conditioning day. Players on all C Division teams warm up, practice, and work together to see their competition on conditioning days. We had 60 participants in that. And then we also have adult basketball preseason game on Sunday, May 19th. The game signifies the start of the adult basketball Sunday night league for the months of May through July and provides the teams the opportunity to become better acquainted with the league rules and the other team members. There are currently 8 teams with a total of 96 players in the adult basketball league. And just a couple items on consent that we have. The annual review of the financial policies. The change that's being proposed is a reallocation of some of the funds that are over the required 17% reserve. So we would reduce the capital improvement projects from 40% to 25% and adding 15 to be transferred for self-insurance funds for general liability and workers' compensation. I believe in last presentation, our finance director mentioned that with an audit, or not an audit, we were catching up on our claims, and that did go up by, I believe, around $2 million. So we're now at around $7.2 million in worker comp claim liability. So we're just trying to address some of the increase in costs that we are experiencing. The next item is consideration of Proposition A exchange with Foothill Transit. This is something that we do annually. We transfer the funds, exchange the funds so that we can convert them to general fund monies, and we use this to offset some of those expenditures. We do have a combined total of over $6 million that we anticipate receiving in this, or that we received from Prop C, Measure R, Measure M, and Transportation Development Act that can all be used towards other transportation needs, street rehabs in our community. And then the last item is the budget community meeting feedback. Some of the items that were discussed between the two community meetings were police, the number of police officers that we have, and verifying what the budgeted amount was, which is 102 in this current fiscal year, and we're proposing to maintain it in the next fiscal year. Park funding and acquisition funds, there's some funding that's been allocated for Greenridge Park projects, including a new playground. Some cost associated with the health department, the cost associated or subsidizing the sportsplex. And in the presentation, we do show a breakout of all of the different facilities and how much we're making in revenues and what those expenditures are for those individual facilities or community centers. And I think that covers my presentation. Oh, one last page, and that's some upcoming events. So we have this coming Monday, we have a Memorial Day celebration that we do annually, and we hope people can come and attend and participate with us. It's 10 a.m. at the Civic Center here at City Hall. I believe there's going to be refreshments and snacks after the ceremony. We also have our very first annual Health and Wellness Expo and San Gabriel Valley Senior Softball Tournament next Thursday, May 30th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the West Covina Sportsplex. We have the Palmview Community Center Open House. So some of those events and programs that we went over today, you can get more information on what other programs, special events, and services Palmview provides. That's Tuesday, June 4th from 10 a.m. to noon. We have a free paper shredding event Saturday, June 15th at Cortez Park from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then our summer concerts will be commencing June 19th through July 31st. And we have bands like No Duh, Remix, Bumtown, the Ace Band, the Dreamboats, and the Flashbox will be headlining our summer concert series this summer. So that concludes my presentation.
Fantastic. Thank you. And we look forward to the music. We will now move to oral communications. If anyone would like to address the council, please fill out an orange speaker card and submit it to the assistant city clerk. When you hear your name being called, please start lining up in the center row. The timer will start when you reach the podium. Requests to speak on agenda items will be heard prior to requests to speak on non-agenda items.
We have 7 speakers, Mayor.
All right. Let's go ahead.
John Shoemaker, followed by R. Robinson, followed by Lorraine Cardenas.
Basically, want to start off with the budget and basically the general tone in the city. We have a tendency of saying things that give a complete false impression to most people who are listening to things. I always tell people, pay attention to what somebody says or does not say, because that can come into place. Some of you on the council have been talking about how a while back we're adding 10 new police officers. There wasn't a mention that, according to the documents received from City Hall, that there had been a reduction of 14 the year before. Those were budgeted. It doesn't mean we actually had those officers on staff. And the reason I bring that up is, and maybe the chief or somebody, I'll ask him a little bit later, is we have 102 officers, but when we participated in that yearly event, what is it, Barstow to Vegas or something along those lines, we won the 99 or under group. So did we really have 102 officers? So you have to kind of wonder about it. Then when talking about the balanced budget, everybody wants to pat themselves on the back. Well, there's no rule that says it's balanced spending. And a prime example is when the question was asked about what are the pay raises? Are the pay raises built into this? No. We have a budget with $1,500 extra. So the pay raises for every employee in the city is going to be a total of $1,500. So we have a hole in our budget about $1.5 to $2 million at least. So those are going to be taken from all the things that you talked about, like, park funds and things like, or money that allocated to certain things. It's kind of like Shadow Oak Park before we installed, the restroom that wasn't hooked to the sewer system. For 10 years, there was $1 million in the budget for Shadow Oak Park restroom. And mysteriously, it was never built for a number of years, but there wasn't $1 million left over. It's called transfers. The health department in there. That's the best thing of all. When asked why there's no budget in it, we're told the reason there is anything is because the state has not told us what we're going to be allowed to do. Well, I recall the year before, it was 2021, somewhere in there, we told LA County, get out, we don't want you anymore. The state at that time had not voiced any opinion on what we were going to do. So why was there not a health department budget set up for that? Because the assumption would have been, there was a document floating around, I think there was like 17 items that a health department would do, I forget the exact number. Wouldn't you have already penciled all that out and said, this is what it's going to cost and this is how we're going to do it? What makes it even worse is when the city manager says, we're going to revolutionize the delivery of health services to the public. Well, what is that and what's it going to cost? Nothing there. And another one that cracked me up is how the public will be misled, and people in the next election are going to talk about it. Part of the budget where it talks about how ARPA money was spent. And it talks about how $8.7 million was spent on, respond to public health negative impacts of the pandemic in support of health of the communities, helping households, small businesses, impact industry, and the public sector. So she's going to run around saying, we spent $8.7 million helping out the public. No, it went to the public sector because there's been no money to individuals and there's been no money or virtually no money to our businesses. So that's just a small sampling of the misstatements, and I'm not going to be the flat out lies to the public that continues every single time. So in summary, there's one thing that will change when I'm on the council. Funny things like this will stop because I will ask the questions from up there about what those really mean. And the other thing, too, is staff. You're never going to have to worry about me threatening you or you having to call the police because I threatened to hit you or tried to hit you. Because you're the only person I'll call and talk to and get your permission that I need a question answered. Thank you.
R. Robinson, followed by Lorraine Cardenas, followed by Bill Slinko.
I guess my topic tonight is fifth generation warfare. Public health officials want to see in the midst of the fear-mongering, bribery, propaganda-driven pandemic weeks after the pharmaceutical giant AstraZeneca and Oxford University scientists is shelving their COVID-19 vaccine. Countries in Europe and elsewhere are pausing its use amid disconcerting reports that recipients have experienced blood clots, some of them fatal. COVID jab harms are frequently discussed by many alert critics, but too often an entire conversation goes by without mentioning the most obvious and overwhelming fact of all. In the first 3 years ending December 23rd, 2023, nearly 20,000 COVID jab deaths from the Moderna and Pfizer RNA DoD bioweapons were reported in the government to the government through the VAERS vaccine adverse event reporting system. Since less than 1 in 100 actual deaths are likely to be reported to VAERS, 2 million is a reasonable estimate for actual COVID jab deaths. Meanwhile, the CDC and FDA forced out an unfavored DNA vaccine by Johnson & Johnson after a mere 9 deaths from thrombosis. Insurance industry actuarial data can verify these unfortunate facts. So the dominoes are falling faster in Europe. Europe is ahead of the curve in discovering the truth now emerging worldwide. AstraZeneca, a British-Swedish biopharmaceutical company with medical sales in more than 130 countries, one of the largest drug companies in the world, has pulled the plug on the distribution of their self-assembling nanoparticle jab AI technology worldwide. AstraZeneca, their confusing trial results and the study's temporary suspension led to a crisis of confidence that convinced governments around the world to hit the brakes on its vaccine. So May 8th, 2024, that's the key date that they started to pull the vax from the global markets because they say of low demand. So this decision closes the chapter 1 in Europe, but hopefully Pfizer and Moderna are going to withdraw their treatments soon as well. So today, Alex Jones interviewed a woman, Zoe Smith, a medical coder, a hospital bill sender, and whistleblower about the deadly COVID shots. Driven by the CARES Act, the Medicare medical bonus system for COVID diagnosis and death incentives, also driven by the false positive PCR test. You go to the hospital and they'll run the phony test and say you have COVID. So Zoe's prior laboratory expertise proved invaluable during the investigation of the COVID-19 PCR fraud. She began to expose the COVID-19 fraud and shared her unique perspective from an insider knowledge vantage point. She's sort of the air traffic controller collecting all the hospital data where she worked. I mean, she was seeing everything that was coming in, and it didn't add up. So she has a website, and etc. If you want to follow up, just go to Zoe Smith, medical coder. So
thank you.
Lorraine Cardenas, followed by Bill Salinkio, followed by Bill Elliott.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lorraine Cardenas, and I am a resident of this lovely city, West Covina, for over 24 years. I am here today to share with you the good news of the Rotary Club of West Covina and the details of who we are and what we're doing. I don't know, Rotary has over 32,000 Rotary clubs, over 200 countries. But specifically, West Covina Rotary Club was established in 1953, and the city began its rapid development into an important community in the San Gabriel Valley. Its members came from a broad spectrum of businesses and professions, as well as city and community leaders. This has continued to this present day. Some of our major projects, actually, we focus on the youth. And some of our major projects, examples, are we've participated, our commitment is to helping our fellow man in the city and the world community. Our amazing projects, one of them is Red Ribbon Week. We collaborate with the city of West Covina and the schools districts, and we've had a couple of events at West Covina High School where it's been amazing. That's actually how I got started. I volunteered to flip pancakes and realized what a great job the Rotary Club does. And I was actually just an honorary volunteer for a while because I worked outside of the city. But Red Ribbon Rally will be starting up again in October. I'm so excited about that. And David Alfaro and Forrest Tennant have been the steer leaders for that. We also have Interact Club, and this is where the high school kids, they learn about who Rotary is and the differences we're making in the world. And we've also granted teachers mini grants. We also have collaborated with the East Valley Community Clinic and provided Thanksgiving baskets to over 95 families. And it's a pretty neat day because we pack 95 baskets and we have the kids come in, they collect cans and we fill up these baskets and then we get them delivered to the families. We also have provided sponsorships for TLC, which is a teen leadership. We take kids to camp. We sponsored 6 kids out of the local high schools, West Covina High School, Edgewood, as well as Mount Sac. And then also we have and those are 13-year-olds, is TLC. We have the RILA, which is Rotary Youth Leadership, and that's 6 high schoolers, 17 and 18-year-olds. We also have a 4-way test that we sponsored kids from high schoolers, and this is great just to see their speech. And we've actually, they've advanced with their stories and now represent the city of West Covina. With that said, we also have the Dave Stover, which is a music competition. And those kids that were competing also advanced to higher levels, so that's pretty exciting. Outside of that, we also have Hands Across the Border, where we were able to provide a grant of $5,000 to set up a computer lab in Tijuana over there. And it was great. We provided 35 computers and a laser printer. And the latest thing was last year, I don't know if everyone I'm sure knows Ken Lund, who was a prominent resident of West Covina, put a peace pole in the middle of the West Covina High School. And with that said, we have one going up, and I'm really excited about, in Mount Sac. Mount Sac, over 20 years, has a choral department, has promoted messages of peace through various musical presentations. And peace poles we have over 250,000 peace poles across the world. And I'm excited that'll be placed in the middle of Mount Sac. So I brought some pamphlets for everyone, if you'd like to check that out. And come see us. We have our meetings. We meet on Wednesdays afternoons at lunchtime at South Hills Country Club. Thank you very much.
Bill Salinkio, Bill Elliott, and Isabel Fulmer.
Good evening, Council. I've been a West Covina resident since 1977. I walk in the mornings in the Edgewood High School area, and lately I've had a couple of close encounters with young people on these mini electric bikes. I have not seen any scooters yet, but I think the council needs to have a ordinance or a city code to keep these people off the sidewalks. My section of Sunset Avenue has bike lanes in both directions, and why can't they use the bike lane? And on another matter, a large tree bough fell during the rainy season, and I have to compliment the services department. It was a rainy Sunday, and they had it fixed really quick. And that's all I have to say. Okay, thank you.
Bill Elliott, followed by Isabel Fulmer, followed by Doug Ford.
Good evening, City Council. What a beautiful West Covina day we had today. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, the temperature was so pleasant. We're so fortunate to live in this city. I saw several West Covina police cars on patrol on my way to council tonight. One of them had 2 officers in it. I assume one of them was a trainee. Some of the officers that we've lost in the past are due to attrition. People retire, people quit, they move on to different agencies. And I think the city does a pretty good job of replacing them. We have a great fire department. Our independent police and the independent fire department cannot be underestimated. We're so lucky to have them. And I sing their praises a lot, but I got to tell you, we have a fabulous code enforcement department, unparalleled in the San Gabriel Valley. And Mylan does a fabulous job. He is so responsive, and his attitude is so can-do. We're lucky to have him. I'm afraid he's going to retire or something. We're going to lose him. But I just wanted to acknowledge that. I also want to acknowledge and congratulate Paulina Morales for her promotion to city manager. I noticed that the people that criticized her in the past, they haven't shown their face here lately. Where's Elsie Messman? She's always talking about how unqualified Paulina is. Where's Elsie? Is she hiding? She's never said why Paulina is so unqualified for the job. If not Paulina, who? If not Paulina, who? I mean, she's arguably already the best city manager we've had since we were paying Andrew Posmott $400,000 a year to be the interim city manager. I hope that never happens again. Paulina's done a great job so far and have a lot of confidence in her ability. And I've mentioned how smart she is. Our nation is really at, unrest. It's a funny word, but that's what people like to call it. We all watched on TV as the universities were imploding. Even, the Ivy League schools and all over the Israel-Hamas war. And I noticed that there were a lot of interlopers on those campuses being reported. They weren't just 18 to 22-year-olds, 18 to 25-year-olds. They were like Brian's age. Mayor, you weren't at UCLA breaking windows, were you? You weren't living in a tent with a mask on, concealing your identity, because AI is a very funny thing. These days, all we need is your eyes. Just like January 6th, people that didn't even enter the buildings were identified. And I think we're going to see a lot of identification of the people that were there rioting, threatening Jewish students with bodily harm. And like I said before, I believe, first of all, it's not a West Covina issue, but since Brian surrounds himself with a never-ending parade of malcontents that he brings into the city council, and they chant and they protest, but they really don't know what the hell they're even talking about. It's the 40 and 50-year-olds that are on the campus that are using weapons to try and further their anti-Semitism. And that's shameful. I didn't think we were ever going to get to that point in America. Ryan, I want to give you condolences. Your president was killed in a helicopter crash yesterday. I know how much that probably affected you because you're so anti-American and anti-West Covina, because if you weren't, you would have never voted to defund our police department. And I think it's a shame that you were the one to honor the police recently during Police Week. I wouldn't have wanted to have been one of those police officers getting anything from you. What else? Isn't it a shame when somebody shows up to a fundraiser and then makes a total ass of themselves?
Isabel Fulmer, followed by Doug Ford.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Isabel Fulmer, and it is with great pride that I stand before you as Miss San Gabriel Valley Teen USA 2024, representing this city at the California Teen USA. Representing this city at the California Teen USA pageant in June, I'm also a proud resident of Covina, attending the West Covina Unified School District since first grade through the dual language program at Orangewood Elementary. I'm currently promoting from 8th grade and will be attending an early college academy where I can earn my AA degree and high school diploma by my senior year. As we approach the end of May, it is important to recognize Mental Health Awareness Month. Today, I would like to share my personal initiative, Empire Minds Financial Literacy to Inspire Generations. I began my quest to help bring awareness of financial literacy 2 years ago at the age of 12. Studies show that 72% of Americans cite money matters as major strains on their mental health. This issue is particularly prevalent in my generation, Gen Z, which has the lowest financial literacy rate at only 28%. This statistic is alarming because it highlights the risk to the future financial stability of our country and underscores the significant impact of financial stress on our mental health. This is a clear correlation between financial literacy and mental health issues such as stress, anxiety, and depression. Empire Minds was born during the COVID-19 pandemic. My parents, both hardworking professionals, a teacher, and a law enforcement officer, decided to learn a new skill and work as a team to help others. While sheltering in place, I often overheard them on Zoom calls, consulting with people from all walks of life, in all ages, about using credit wisely, saving effectively, managing investments, and handling everyday bank accounts. These individuals frequently express regret about not learning these skills in school. It made me question why financial literacy isn't a more integral part of our education when it is a skill 100% of our students will need. In response, I took action and joined the Teen Task Force of CARE Financial Group, an organization founded by bankruptcy lawyers to teach people better financial principles and help them avoid bankruptcy in the future. CARE Los Angeles goes into schools and does presentations about a variety of financial topics, helping students gain essential skills in managing their finances. I have also partnered with NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, San Gabriel Valley and Los Angeles chapters, attending their annual mental health festival and working towards becoming an ambassador. I'm honored to share that NAMI has asked me to speak at next year's event and take a more active role in their organization. Financial literacy is crucial in breaking the cycle of generational poverty and improving mental health outcomes. By equipping students with the knowledge and skills needed to manage their finances effectively, we can reduce financial stress and its associated mental health issues, building a more financially stable and mentally healthy future for our communities. Additionally, through my dual language program, I've learned Spanish and hope to use it even more for the people in our community. It has taken a village to raise me into the person I am today, and many of these people are from this very community. I am so grateful and proud to be from the San Gabriel Valley. I want our community to be better prepared financially, helping to reduce stress, anxiety, and depression in the future. Thank you for your time and consideration. I look forward to collaborating with the board and the community to promote financial literacy and mental health awareness. I hope to maybe have a designated financial literacy day in the future. Thank you.
Doug Ford.
Hello, how are you guys doing today? I just want to announce One and All Church is doing a giveaway this Saturday at Cameron Park in the parking lot for all the community members. It is a free food giveaway, so if you are in need right now, you're in the community. Last month we gave about 650 family meals out. We have about 700 this Saturday. So Cameron Park, 8 o'clock, open to the community. If you know people in need, please come. Thank you, guys.
No further speaker slips, Mayor.
All right. Thank you. City Manager, may you please respond to public comment concerns?
Excuse me. There's some questions or comments about the budget. As we indicated in a previous presentation, our number of officers, we have budgeted 102. That number is what we're budgeted for. That doesn't necessarily mean that's how many officers we have in our agency, because it fluctuates as we are recruiting to bring officers on board. There's a process, whether they're lateral or new hire. There's training and there's timing that to bring them on board. In addition, as officers retire or move to other agencies, then we have to fill those positions. So it's always a fluctuating number, but we are budgeted for 102. The budget does include the pay raises that are part of the MOUs that do not expire, that go past the June 30th, 2024 date. It does not account for those MOUs with the bargaining units that expired June 30th, because we don't know. We're currently in negotiations with those bargaining groups, so we're not sure what that's going to look like. And at that point, it would be speculation. But it does include, like I said, the raises for the MOUs past June, and also for the annual evaluation increases that employees are subject to. So the budget doesn't account for that. And then I know there was some questions about how we spent our ARPA money. That's always been included in our budget, and so you can go in and look at where we spent all $19 million. We're still spending some of that, but that is something that came to the council, and we did share how we were going to allocate all of that money and where it went, and or where it's been allocated if it hasn't been spent already. Wanted to thank Lorraine for the lovely updates on the Rotary events, and for sharing all the wonderful programs and services you're providing into our community and other communities. I think there was a program in TJ, you said? And then for the individual that spoke on electric bikes on sidewalks, that's something that they're not allowed to be doing. So if you see an electric bike on one of our sidewalks, please call our police department and they'll help address that. Bill and Bill speakers had some kind words about staff, about our PD, fire and code enforcement, and we always like to hear nice words for our staff members that do their job every day, are dedicated and passionate about what they do. And then congratulations to Isabel for Miss, I think I heard it right, Miss San Gabriel Valley, Miss Teen USA. So that's wonderful work that you're doing. Financial literacy, yes, is not taught in schools. And so if we can help further that education, there's a way to collaborate, we'd be happy to do that. And then Doug, thanks for sharing the information about the giveaway. It's also on our website, so if people want more information, they can look it up. And I think that concludes my comments.
Fantastic. Thank you. Council, is there anything you'd like to pull from the consent calendar? Councilman Cantos?
Mr. Mayor, item number 7, please.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, I'd like to pull item number 5. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar items 1 through 7 with the exception of number 5 and 7?
I'll move the motion. So go ahead.
I'll move the motion.
Second. I have a motion by Councilwoman Diaz and a second by Councilwoman Lopez Viado to approve consent calendar items 1 through 7 with the exception of 5 and 7. Councilman Contos?
Aye.
Councilwoman Diaz? Councilwoman Lopez Viado? Aye. Mayor Pro Tem Wu?
Aye.
Mayor Calderon Tabatabai?
Aye.
Items passed 5-0, Mayor.
Yes. All right. Item number 5. So I had a concern. I understand a couple years ago when we went from 50% to 40% for the capital projects because it went to vehicles, and I consider that part of infrastructure. So it made sense to me. I am concerned though now that we're looking to cut that down to 25%. And so can you maybe speak a little bit on that, and if we have a timetable to then revisit this and maybe get it back to the 50% or 40% with the 10% for vehicles?
Sorry. Good evening, Stephanie Sigma, Finance Director. So June 30th, 2024, our self-insurance funds, which includes both general liability and workers' comp, were negative, about $6.3 million. So essentially, while we left those funds negative, if something were to happen and we actually had to pay out, it would come from our general fund. So seeing that negative hole that wasn't there the year before, that's why we proposed switching where we rearranged the excess funding from. Last year, we had put about $1.5 million in the CIP. Based on how it's trending this year, I don't know that we'll have really anything to distribute from those percentages. But that's why staff did that, because all the other percentages are so small already. So the only place to take from was the capital improvement fund. That fund normally goes towards more of the internal projects and programs like City Hall and things like that. And while those things are important, so is our liabilities that are negative. And so that's why staff is making this recommendation for council to consider.
Yeah, no, and I understand. I think just my concern would be that I definitely do want us to have this if it passes tonight, which I feel it would, that it comes back to us in a year.
It does. It's an annual review, so we will be bringing this back.
Okay, yeah, and again, I think the fact we have been spending a lot more on infrastructure because for a long time we put infrastructure to the side, and I know that's been a priority of this council, and I'd hate to see us going back to this idea of running everything to failure, right? Okay. So I will go ahead then and move the motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Mayor Calderon Tabatabai, a second by Councilmember Contos for item number 5, which is the annual review of financial policies. Councilman Contos?
Aye.
Councilwoman Diaz?
Aye.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wu?
Aye.
Mayor Calderon Tabatabai?
Aye.
Item passes 5-0, Mayor.
Okay. Item number 7, Councilman Contos.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. First of all, Stephanie, I really want to compliment you and our staff for putting together the budget and for having the budget workshops. That was really helpful, and it provided the community with an opportunity to ask questions and to get clarifying answers from you. The thing that I was wondering about is with regard to those who were not able to attend the meeting live, to be there. because it wasn't recorded or otherwise televised, people who were not able physically to be there don't really know the details that you shared during those two meetings. And so I think that those who were there had a wonderful opportunity to hear the context of the budget and what was dedicated to which items, and also to ask process-wise how our staff came to the recommendations that it did. And so what I'm wondering is if the council would mind our moving this item just one meeting, just 2 weeks from today, to just the next meeting, and so that we can have one more community meeting that would be televised, just to make sure that if people had any input, they'd be able to do it. And I've already checked, and it's feasible to do it, let's say even by Monday or sometime soon before next council, so there'd be time for staff to receive any feedback from those who may see the meeting televised. It would sort of be a repeat of the other meetings for those who were not able to be there. And I'm supportive of the budget, but I just wanted to optimize and support a full transparency. And I know we're being transparent, but also to optimize access for those who were not able to be there in person. If there would be a way to move that back just by literally 2 weeks, just for the next meeting, just so that the next meeting can be televised or recorded, however way that works, so that people can then have an opportunity to give feedback. And then the next time around, then if after that's done, everyone will have had an opportunity to weigh in who couldn't be there in person or for various reasons. And then that way, then we can vote on the budget. Would there be any? I'm just wondering, with the Madam City Manager, would there be any adverse impact by a delay of 2 weeks?
So if I can clarify, we have it scheduled for June 4th to come back to the council for approval. Are you asking to move it to the second meeting, which I think is...
Oh, well, if it's going to be for the next... Okay, so if that's the case, it's going to be up for the next meeting anyway. Then can we have one more meeting with the community, with it being recorded, so that people can see and ask questions and so forth. I don't, whether it's a virtual meeting so people can come on or whatever. So is that doable logistically? Like we've done?
I'm sorry, if I can clarify, Councilmember Contos, you would like to have another meeting between now and June 4th and have it televised?
Yes, just to have an opportunity, yes.
That is something that we could try to accommodate. I'm trying to think, because the agendas go out next Wednesday, and so that means we have to do it either this week or next Monday.
Mm-hmm. Memorial Day.
Oh, so Monday will not work. So that's a very quick turnaround. We could try to coordinate something. We'd have to check with staff, and then on top of that, I don't know if we'd have enough time to notice it to the residents to really get the community input and involvement, participation that you're looking for.
Okay.
The other thing would be if we could move the budget from the June 4th to the June 18th meeting. That would give us more time to accommodate an additional community meeting.
And if we were to do that and just to move it, would there be an adverse impact to the process if we had it on the calendar for June 18th?
The only adverse action would be if it did not get approved on the June 18th, and we'd be going into the new fiscal year without an approved budget.
Right. Okay. So may I ask that we move, in light of that, with feasibility, that we move this item to June the 18th, in light of what I've described? I'd like to make that motion to postpone this item just till June the 18th. At which time we can vote on the budget.
Before we take that motion, Councilwoman Lopez Villaro had comments.
I just had a quick question. Was there a reason why it wasn't televised? I know last year, or usually every year, they have it live feed. It wasn't?
We didn't televise it this year, no. The intent was we can televise it. The purpose of the meetings is to get community input, and so it's the feedback that we're getting from the residents attending and participating in those meetings.
Okay, I was just curious. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think, and I understand, it is to have folks here and to give their input in person. And so, sometimes the camera can do things to folks when they got the mic. So I totally understand that. Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor. Councilman Contos, can we repeat the motion for everyone?
Yes, I have a motion to delay the budget approval to June 18th so that there can be another community meeting televised.
I'll second it.
I had a
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Thank you, Mayor. The attendance was very low. I mean, it wasn't even a dozen. It wasn't even a handful. And so, and I know statistically, traditionally, every year when it comes to budget workshop, I guess because it's so dry, the material is just so hard, and they're bored. They rather just spend time. And this is truthfully because, personally, and residents and families rather spend time outside. I'm just curious. I just didn't want to waste time for having such a low attendance again, because there was only total 8 residents, and Councilman Cantos, and I don't know if he's part of, he is a resident, so I don't know if that makes it 9, because he's a resident. And then, the second one, it was a total of 10. So really, for 2 budget, we had only 18. I don't know if there is a need, I'm for the need. But if it's just, I just didn't want to waste the city's time and energy when we could put that on other, uses. But if Councilman Cantos, if your residents are saying, I really wanted to attend this meeting so bad, I want to see it, there's that passion, I am willing to support. But if there isn't that, I just didn't want to postpone this and then push and then budget. But yeah.
If I may, it was also a lot of the same people at both meetings.
Oh, okay. So
generally, if something's not online on time or it didn't get broadcast for finance-related things, my office hears from it, and I did not hear of any. I was looking to watch the budget and didn't see it online, unless city manager's office had received any, normally like for audit committee or other things, if it's not up like the next morning, I hear about it. I did not hear about it. So, but of course, if council.
Mayor Pro.
I have my concern. Quiet, please. Okay, I have my concern because if we do not have the budget, pass, and God forbid, we might have a question, detail, we study, and we want to postpone to next meeting to get some more information, then we pass the deadline. So I think the cushion on the second meeting on June is for safety reason. So I really, if the attendance is such as a low, there's really no point, to drag this and playing so kind of on the wire, and we just have to forced to approve by end of the June, the second meeting. So I think if we can, in the first meeting to discuss, at least we can go to some detail. Maybe we have an agreement or disagreement, so we still can work on that for the second meeting. In that way, I really don't want to go through 2018 that we went through so many of the budgeting and we can now approve, and it's a nightmare. So hopefully, but in that way, just for some people, they just want to, on TV, I think that's potentially kind of troublesome.
If I could,
City Manager Morales?
If I could also add, the budget is available for review on the website, so people do have that ability to review it, and then if they have questions, they can call staff, they can come to the council meeting. So there are other opportunities for people that may feel very passionate about our budget to provide comment and feedback outside of those community meetings. We did have a budget survey done at the beginning of the year that was available online for all community members to participate in. So we do try to get community participation. It's a little bit of a dry subject, so maybe that's why the turnout's only, it's a low turnout, but we do try to get people to come to those events.
Would it be possible to do just like a social media with our budget, and then our emails, and people can, if they have concerns, if they still have priorities, and we just, hey, here's the budget, we highlight it on the website, and then they can still contact all of us. We put all our contact information. So if folks feel like they still need more to say or they didn't have an opportunity, is that something we can do?
Yes, we can do that.
So I do have a motion by Councilman Contos and a second by Councilwoman Diaz to move the budget to June 18th and hold a community meeting in the meantime. I'll go ahead and take roll for that. Councilman Contos?
Aye.
Councilwoman Diaz?
Aye.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Abstain.
Mayor Pro Tem Wu?
No.
Mayor Calderon Tabatabai?
No.
So, do I? So then I will change mine to no.
All right. We will. Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So do we have a motion to approve item number 7?
So move.
Second.
I have a motion by by Mayor Pro Tem Wu and a second by Councilwoman Lopez Viado to approve item number 7 as is. Consideration of community feedback regarding proposed fiscal year 2024-25 operating and capital improvement program budget. Councilman Contos?
No.
Councilwoman Diaz?
No.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Wu?
Aye.
Mayor Calderon Tabatabai?
Aye.
Item passes 3-2, Mayor.
All right, moving on to item number 8, consideration of appointment to the audit committee. Is there a nomination from the council?
I would like to nominate Rafael Castillon.
Is there a second?
I will second, but I want to add on the
There is, I did. I saw the applications, and again, I know when we get applications that come in, they think it's a full-time, part-time job, and they even put their rates of what they're asking for. I don't think they really understand or see that it's almost like a volunteer position or a stipend. But there is one candidate that I know, though she did put like regular, part-time, or per diem. She has a lot of potential as well, and I don't know if there's an internship program that I'd like for her to, she goes to UC, I forgot, Riverside, and she is a CPA, and I would like to put her as an audit alternative, but I'm not sure if she's also aware. Like I said, all the other candidates except one was requesting pay, like it's a regular job. And I don't think I don't think they understand it's not a regular job, but if she can be spoken to. But I'd still like to move forward to nominate Rafael Castillon and Jaslyn as a alternative.
Okay, second.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Okay, I will second it, but I review all 4%, 2%, they want to get pay and annual salary, how much this and that, but maybe they don't know this is more like a volunteer job. Okay, so, and then, I think Rafael is retires, 30-some years in the retail manager, so possible can look into the business of our, numbers thing. But, and Jocelyn Rodriguez, is UC Riverside accountant major, so she is qualified looking the number. So we need to maybe, but she's kind of looking for internship, so maybe our finance director can using her. But at the same time, we can use her as an alternate for our audit committee. Let these young people to step into the real world of finance and the city budget and business. So I second.
And that's if she's willing, because a lot of the candidates, when they put in and we nominate them, they said, it's not a regular job, then I decline. So.
City Manager Morales?
Yes, if I can clarify. So when you say alternate, so if your first pick, Mr. Castillon, is not available to be on the audit committee, you would then like to go to the alternate. Okay, perfect.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Lopez Viado, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Wu, to nominate Rafael Castellon to the Audit Committee, and if he is not available, then Jocelyn Rodriguez. Councilman Contos?
Aye.
Councilwoman Diaz?
Aye.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wu?
Aye.
Mayor Calderon Tabatzbai.
Aye.
Item passes 5-0, Mayor.
All right. It is time for City Council reports, AB 1234 conference and meeting reports. Councilman Contos, would you like to go first?
Oh, I was hoping you'd go first. Oh, gosh. Well, wanted to report on our going to the International Conference of Shopping Centers. It was extraordinarily productive. We went from meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting. We just went all over the place, and we got more than our 10,000 steps for the day. It's unbelievable. And so we met with different property developers in the city. We brought up different concerns with regard to safety, let's say, and just checking on the business owners and so forth. We also heard from businesses who want to come here, and so it was a really, really exhausting but productive conference. We got a lot done, and the mayor was a wonderful ambassador for us, and we had our city manager with us, and Joanne Burns was really incredible, and the staff with Karen Coe having organized things. I hope I didn't miss anybody with acknowledgments, but that whole effort was so seamless because of our staff who really maximized every moment of our time, and it was also getting good to be there with others, and to also network with different officials who are elected from throughout San Gabriel Valley. There's also economic development partnership effort there, or organization where we met with different elected officials there and to discuss collaboration. It was really, really worth the effort, and I'm just really excited for us to talk about the details of that once everything finalizes. But there's a lot that's coming, and I'm just really grateful that we were able to get to go.
No, I want to second what Councilman Contos just said there. Joanne Burns and City Manager Paulina Morales set up some wonderful meetings, and one of the things that I really did recognize is how many relationships our city manager has in the business community, and it is a value when you have over years built so many relationships with all these different entities, and also how many folks did set up, want to meet with the city of West Covina and said, we want to come to your city, and can we please have a meeting? Can we please get, 15, 20 minutes? And so, I think it's just proof of the great work everyone up here on the dais has been doing. Like Councilman Contos said, we do have hopefully some exciting stuff to announce in the future. I will allow our city manager maybe to speak a little bit about our experience, and I give you the floor.
Okay. It was a very busy day. It was one of those where, like Councilman Canto said, it was from meeting to meeting, but I think it was very productive. We got some really good updates on some of the big centers. We can't say exactly what, but some good information on the Eastland Center. Walmart leaving makes an impact to our budget that we were going over today. And so hopefully we'll be able to share some good news on what the property owner is looking to do with that site. But then also meeting with some prospective tenants that are interested in West Covina. And, our job as economic development is to matchmake, put, opportunities that we have in the city and put those resources with the businesses that are looking to come in the city and look for those sites that work for them and bring them to our community so that our residents can have more services, different types of services. But yeah, it was a very busy day. But it's fun, but it is busy and it is productive. And as our mayor mentioned, building those relationships, even if you don't make a deal one year, but continuing to foster that relationship over the years, can lead to and has led to projects and developments being brought to West Covina. Thank you.
Thank you. Any city council requests? Mayor Pro Tem Wu?
I don't have a request. I just have a quick comment. Okay, I just want to follow you guys. Thank you for attend this meeting. I think this is kind of represent the city, and I went one time, and I went with our assistant city manager that time, Paulina. Okay, and we went one day. We in and we want to target the hotel about 3-4 years ago. Okay, and we didn't get too much luck. Okay, I think this time totally different. Okay, I think this time I heard about a lot of accomplishment. A lot of people are welcome with Covina. So we are really on the map. And plus, I think everybody know Paulina over there since you went there 20 times. You didn't miss any year. Okay, you went there all the time. So now everybody know you are our city manager. So they are going to knock on your door. Okay, and plus the city, okay, the mayor and our councilman went over there together. I think this is something represent West Covina. That's why all this meeting and the go try to promote our city is very, very important, because we want to bring them to our city so we will create job, create resource, create revenue, create taxes, so we can provide for our residents. But thank you so much for attend. I know it's going to be busy over there, okay, and besides a lot of field, but hopefully you guys walk a lot. Okay, but thank you so much.
If I could
yes, go ahead.
If I could add one thing. There's a couple individuals that we met with that specifically said that when we have representatives like the mayor and members of the council attend these meetings and go on behalf of the city, it shows just how business friendly the city is and how proactive we are in bringing in new business to the city. So they see it, the tenants, the developers do see a value to having our elected officials attend.
Councilman Cantos?
Wanted to also compliment our city manager. I think that we would have probably had even more meetings with the 12 that we had we not had to stop every several feet with people wanting to hug our city manager and congratulations. It's like, oh my gosh. And I just really very impressed. And so just really appreciative to her for her leadership and to Joanne for all of hers, and Karen.
All right.
So requests. Oh, are we on?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Councilman Cantos.
Switching gears. I'm wondering if the city manager can instruct the police chief to look into an apparent increase in graffiti activity. I've gotten intelligence reports that there are 3 rival gang members. I'm not going to name them here, but I'll provide them. But there are 3 rival gang members that are tagging around the city and crossing each other's tags out. And that can lead potentially to violence in the future. So we really I'd like to ask that the city manager immediately instruct the police chief to get on this, and also to assemble different folks in the community who also have expertise in this. I know of a few, and I can bring them to the table. But we really should nip this in the bud early before something happens.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem Wu.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Okay, since our Councilman Kendall talked about the issue from police, okay, I just received a phone call. I remember this morning from our resident, also the school board member, Mike Flowers, talking about car wash. Behind the car wash we have encampment growing. So please have our police hoping to look into behind the car washes. Hopefully we can help those people to not camping around there and find some of a service for them. From our Lakata, I think we paying them $250,000. Hopefully they can provide a service for us. Thank you.
All right.
Through the chair, if we can go back to Councilman Contos' request and perhaps get a second and some consensus.
Oh, yes.
I'll second that.
Thank you. I hear no objection. Thank you.
All right.
And also with the car wash.
Yes.
Second.
Yes. Well.
No objection. Thank you.
No. Yeah. No. Yeah, we don't want Lakata to do outreach. That was not serious. Not serious. We can strike that. Anyone else? Any other council requests? All right. Seeing none, we are adjourned.